Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe here with Wake Up Legendary. Welcome to the greatest show on earth, marketing show that is, but it really digs deep into the heart and the mind of what it takes to be a successful online marketer and entrepreneur. And each and every morning, 5 days a week at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we have a brand new client that I interview completely unprepared. What? Yes, which means that there's no scripted questions, there's no planning. She doesn't know what I'm going to ask. I don't know what I'm going to ask. So, my friends, if you're new here, put your seatbelt on, get ready for the ride of your life, get ready to hear some things that may spark your inner entrepreneur, that crazy wild side of you that wants to break free from the shackles and chains that society has placed on you and start blazing your own trail. So with that being said, let's get into it. What the hell? Nicole, all the way from Reno, Nevada. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks so much for having me again.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's my pleasure. When were you on the show last?
I think August was the last one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So catch us up. Give us a snapshot of what it was like, what happened, what it's like now since the last time you were on the show.
Okay, so let's see. Since then, I went to Mastermind in October, and that was incredible and kind of helped reignite things in a different way, in terms of like really sparking that desire to start creating like my own digital products and just figuring out the digital marketing realm even more than I already have in this past year. And I have so many ideas and still learning and growing. And I'm so excited for 2024 and what's coming, and taking the knowledge that I've learned from Legendary Marketer and I'm applying it even more than I have the past year. So I'm just so excited.
Wow, I'm excited for you. So are you doing this full time now?
I have been doing this full time for a while.
For a while. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Before or after you started here with us?
Oh, after.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what you learned here has enabled you to go from, you were teaching, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
For 15 years.
Into full-time digital marketing.
Mhm.
Wow. Congratulations on that. That
Thank
really
you.
should be acknowledged right up front. And of course, is probably a huge life change for you. What is that like? What is being able to do this full time as a career from home, or I would assume anywhere that you are?
Anywhere.
What has that been like for you? What has that done for your life?
I think first and foremost, it's like shown me the opportunity that's outside of the traditional 9 to 5, in terms of being able to go work in Florida across the entire country, when on the West Coast. And we did so much traveling, it was a lot of local, but over summer and being able to work anywhere I want from my laptop, from my phone. So I guess just the idea of like, holy crap, this is a whole new world, and being around for our children 24/7. The freedom that comes with that is like nothing compares to that. And it lights something in you that you're like, there's no way. Now that I have a taste of this, there's no possible way that I could go back to a traditional 9 to 5, go back to teaching. There's no way. There's no way. This freedom is nothing compares to it.
And that's, a gift and a curse, right? Because we need, for society, we need wonderful people like you inside of our school system, working with our children.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't found the perfect way for you to help our children and also be there to parent your children, right?
Yeah.
Or be there with your family and be
Right.
able to earn enough in order to actually provide and not be in survival mode.
Yeah.
Brings back the story of Kelly Roberts and many of the other teachers inside of this community who grappled with that same challenge of gosh, I love what I do. It means so much to me. I love my kids, and
Yeah.
I'm not able to be there fully the way that I
Yeah.
want to for myself and my family. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, actually, I have a friend that I actually met through digital marketing. She's literally staying in my house right now, and her and I were talking about last night
What's
about
her
the
name?
idea. Sam Ayalde.
Sam Lee all day?
Samantha Ayalde.
Oh, Samantha. I was like,
Yeah,
wow, that's a cool name. Okay, Samantha.
right.
Hi. Hi. I thought it was Sam Lee all day. I was like, wow, because my
That's the
son's name
name.
is Sam. I was like, that's an incredible. So, Samantha. So, tell us about what you were talking about with her.
Yeah, so she was also a teacher as well, and her and I were talking about last night how when you're in this space of teaching or doing something that you love in general, right? And then you have your children at home and you feel like you cannot give your all to not just your children, but to your students as well. And that's not fair to anyone. And so to find something that still allows you to, so for me, for instance, I do a lot of mentorship, a lot of helping people as much as I possibly can with the time that I have. And so I've kind of found like the best of both worlds in terms of being a full-time mom, but also teaching, for lack of better words, in this digital marketing realm. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. But we were talking about it's, taking away from your students and also not being able to give your all to your children. It's too much. It's too much sometimes. Some people can do it, not me.
Well, you're using your skill set of teaching, your passion of teaching. And what's fascinating is even for those of you who are not, teachers by profession, we all know you love to tell some people about some stuff, and I think that we don't realize how we have the ability and the opportunity here to teach and deliver value and help people, but also how fulfilling it is. I mean,
Yes.
ultimately what we're doing here is not selling. It's
Yes.
not even marketing, even though that's the easiest way to describe the process. It really is helping people learn, grow, and find solutions to their problems. And does
Exactly.
that methodology and approach fit for you and resonate with you?
100% yes. I would agree with that entirely. Digital marketing has completely changed my family's life. And I'm so passionate about what it's done for us that it feels wrong to not be sharing that to anyone else who is searching for that kind of, change in their own life. It feels wrong to not share that. The freedom that we found, it literally pulled my family away from bankruptcy, and to not share that just is wrong. It feels wrong. I have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt the same way. That's why I got started on this path.
Yeah.
Of any knowledge, here's the most interesting part about life. And I think this, if everybody listens to this, can really change the whole way in which you look at your life's purpose. So many of us feel guilt and shame and fear that we're not going to be able to leave behind a legacy. And we look at that legacy as being money,
Mhm.
that I'm not going to be able to leave a certain amount of money for my kids or whoever. I'm going to be a burden when I die or whatever it is. When in reality, if you only leave money, you'll have actually left no legacy.
I agree.
Your real legacy is in how you've helped people,
Yeah.
the knowledge that you have passed on to people,
Yeah.
in the way in which they have benefited and had better lives because you were willing to teach them what you knew, passing that on, because we don't even realize the ripples that happen when we share something. Sometimes our own children won't listen to us, but guess what? If I share something with you, maybe you'll share it with your child and they'll listen. Or maybe I could share it with your child in their listen. It reminds me of baseball practice last weekend with my son, 3 years old. Most of the time we're good. But for whatever reason, last Friday, he didn't want to listen to dad. And guess what? Another guy's son didn't want to listen to his dad. But guess who they would listen to? The other dad.
Opposites. Yeah.
That's right. And so we don't know who we're going to affect. You teach my kid. Let me teach your kid.
Yeah.
That's really how we change the world and leave a legacy. And I think that for those of you who are fixated on money and money only,
yeah,
that if you could shift to, I got to learn these skills, these marketing skills, these content creation skills, so I can share what I have and what I'm yet to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that we think, well, what do I know that I can share? Well, it's never too late to become a learning machine.
Mm-hmm.
So you
should
can
always be learning, always
take in stuff. And how much of what you're learning, how much of what you're posting and creating now at this point is stuff that you learned after you got started?
Most all of it. It's even things like, I don't want to get too into it, but like the statistics of like, families that are living on, like, where am I going with this? Reel it back in. The idea of like learning different statistics of, families need X amount per year to just cover the cost of inflation, just random statistics like that I'm constantly learning and trying to like get out there to like, hey, open up everybody's eyes of like, this is reality these days. Yeah. And it's just an ongoing learning process, always. And it should be. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what life is supposed to be.
Yeah. And you chose the online marketing and online business niche, wealth niche. It's a subcategory that's clear in your handle there, which we've posted for everybody to see. And I would assume a lot of that you're teaching and talking about now on that channel is things that have come to light, that have come into your awareness, that you've learned, that you've acquired that knowledge since you started last year. And when did you start exactly?
I officially started posting content on January 31st of last year. So I just hit my 1 year mark.
Okay. Did you have a delay? Did you have some procrastination? Did you have some fear at the beginning? Could you take us back to that time when you were getting ready to get ready and talk to us about, because now we're hearing all the glory, but take us back to the story a little bit and help us understand what it was like when you were launching.
Yeah. So I originally found Legendary in October of, what would that be? 2022, I believe. And I sat there and I watched for like 2 months before I finally decided, okay, let's do this. So I officially purchased the $7 training or course in the 15-day business builder challenge in December of 2022. And I just dove head first in, but I was absolutely terrified. Because I didn't even know that this world existed. I had no clue that this world even existed. And the idea of putting myself out there on social media absolutely terrified me. I am not a social media person. I did not grow up with social media. Like it doesn't come naturally. I'm not exactly an extrovert. I definitely tend to be more of an introvert. So just the idea of putting myself out there was terrifying. And thinking about what my friends and family were going to say. Like no one knew that I was doing this aside from my husband and my parents. And so there was a lot of fear, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, am I smart enough? Am I capable of learning this industry? There was pieces of like, am I pretty enough to be on social media? Like just all the things that run through your head, those deprecating thoughts sometimes, the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, like it was all there. Sometimes still is. It's a choice to continue to move over those or to push past those in order to achieve the life that you are craving, honestly. And it's something that I have a Post-it right here on my desk that says, what do I need to let go of in order to, whatever it is that I'm working towards. And so it's just a continual thought that's always in my head. Like, what do I need to let go of in order to achieve what I'm working towards in any given moment? And it's but I was all there.
I love that. It's I wonder how many people are relating, and some people are sharing their discouragements in the comment, and that's totally fine. You are what you focus on, my friends, as well. So if you're focused, like Oro says, my own family super discouraging me, well, set boundaries, cut them off. Yeah, I know, that's wow, Dave, really? Cut them off? Yeah, cut them off.
Yes.
If your family is discouraging you from doing good self-care, that whatever that is for you, whether that's learning digital marketing and starting a business, whether that's going to therapy, whether that's moving out on your own, whether that's getting into a relationship and failing forward through it and trying things out, they don't think she's right, cut them off.
Yeah.
If you are an adult, start learning how to cut people off.
Yes.
I know, Dave, wow, that seems extreme. Cut them off. Cut them off.
I agree.
Stop being, we're halfway with everything in our lives. That's why we get half-ass results. Because we got I got one foot in the relationship, 1 foot out of the relationship, and I'm peeing all over the opportunity that I have to move forward.
Yeah.
Right. There was another comment. Thank you for these, by the way. I love these kind of comments. I love all, and thank you everybody for the wonderful support for Nicole as well. All the best community, the best audience here. Kyle said, can anybody testify to being successful without paying for the one-on-one counseling? I'm feeling a little discouraged. If I can see correctly, it looks like you have a family there too, Kyler. And I don't know if you're a man or a woman. I guess you're a woman. I guess Kyler's a female name, I'm thinking, but maybe it's a guy. Either way, look, go learn this somewhere else for free then. Take our 15-day challenge for $7 and soak up all the information. Watch nearly 900 episodes of Wake Up Legendary that are posted on free. If you can't figure something out and pull something out of that, pull some inspiration, pull some direction, I'm sorry to any of you who are looking for freebies and have an attitude of entitlement. And I'm not saying this is you. If this doesn't feel like it fits, eat the meat, leave the bones. This is Entrepreneur University, though, friends. This isn't a trauma support group, right?
Yeah, no one's going to do it for you.
I'm giving it to you real and raw with some compassion, but this is what your teachers in high school and college didn't say to you, which is why you're in the position that you are right now. If you want everything for free, go get a job. That's waiting for you. Guess what? There's a shortage of servers and retail workers. I see it everywhere. Restaurants are shutting down. It costs absolutely nothing but your time to go get a job, unless you have to, do drug tests or things like that. Maybe you got to pay for that. But friends, maybe you're fishing in the wrong pond. Maybe you're not ready for entrepreneurship. Maybe you're not ready for the responsibility that it takes. Maybe you're not ready. And Kyler, I was thinking you were a man. Maybe you're a woman, but for me, I wouldn't even, as a man in trying to lead my family, I wouldn't even want to say that out loud. That I can't find the money to invest in myself, to better myself for my family. I mean, come on, and this is just for the men who are listening. We got to grow ourselves up. We want all the respect. We want all the admiration from the women and the men around us, but we don't want to foot the bill. We don't want to pay the cost to be the boss. And that doesn't mean with money. Most of you aren't willing to pay or work.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just
that taking responsibility piece.
The more that the quicker you can say, that's where I'm at, and I need to grow myself up. The quicker that you're going to be on, and I know this might be tough to hear. That's okay. If I say something that pisses you off, maybe it fits. Maybe it's true. All the people who pissed me off in my life were the greatest mentors I ever had, because they said things to me that were honest, that nobody else had the guts to say. We didn't invent affiliate marketing. We didn't invent course creation or doing coaching or events. We're just selling education on how to do them more successfully. And we are selling education here. So don't you think it's in our best interest as a company to want to showcase people who did buy our education and are having results? Think about it. This is not a church. We're not passing a basket asking for a donation. Also, if you want to learn how to do marketing, look at what we're doing. As a successful company who 2 years in a row went from zero, bootstrapping, nothing, to Inc. 5000 list. Last year being the 30th fastest privately held education company in America.
Yeah.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down, Nicole?
100%. There is oh my gosh, I have so much to say on this. There is such a piece of taking responsibility for your own actions, your own thoughts, your own just life, that if you're not going to take that responsibility, what the hell are you even doing? Honestly, what are you even doing? And especially with entrepreneurship, like, you have to be willing to constantly be looking at what you're doing, what's working, what's not working. Looking at, like, am I sitting in a victim mentality? Am I expecting handouts? Am I looking for, am I coming from a place of entitlement where I'm just expecting people to do the damn thing for me? And that's not it. If that's where you're sitting, like, check yourself and decide if that's how you want to continue living, or decide if, no, I want to leave that behind. What do I need to let go of in order to get myself out of the position that I'm in? And go do it. Go do it. Stop waiting for someone to come change your life for you, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, the quicker that you stop looking and getting pissed for people to selling you stuff, the easier your life is going to be, right?
Yeah.
For me, my life changed when I said, sell me, baby. And when you sell me, you better give me the best experience. Because every time I walk into a restaurant, I say, I want the best seat in the house. I say that every time. I said, what do you got open? I'm looking for the best seat in the house. Why? Because I know that I'm going to be the best customer that they had that night. I'm going to be the most respectful to the waitresses and waiters. I'm going to not waste their time. When they come to the table, I'm going to be ready to order. I'm going to be clear. I'm going to also be a great tipper. I'm also going to tell people about the restaurant if I loved it. I might even leave a review. So when I walk in, I have the self-esteem and the confidence to ask for what I want. And guess what that translates perfectly over into? Business, sales, marketing, owning your own business. That if you are a great client, when you go to places and you are seeking solutions or a better life, you say, hey, look, I know nothing's free. I know I don't want to waste your time. I know your time's valuable. I want you to give me the best of what you got. And I know I'm going to have to pay for it. And I'm willing to pay. And I'm willing to pay extra if you do a great job, because I'm a great tipper. I want to be your best client. I want to be your best student. I want to be your biggest success story. Guess what? Now, all of a sudden, suddenly, you got a little more pep in your step when you're selling your product. When you're marketing, because you know that you are congruent, that you are, it's the same. The number one lesson of leadership that I've ever learned is don't ask people to do something that you're not willing to do
yourself. Yep.
So if in construction, my father was the greatest example that I've ever had in terms of this. And my mother and stepfather are as well, great role models in this capacity. But I worked with my dad in construction. He never asked me to do something that he wasn't willing to do. As a matter of fact, sometimes he would get in there and have a hard time letting me do it. He'd want to take the tools back, right? But that was his stuff. He picked that shovel up. He worked just as hard. He'd break his back. And so I respected him for that. And I realized that, man, there's something to this. I don't like him every day, but I respect him. And this is what you want to earn from your clients and your audience is respect. The one reason why I've earned the respect of my audience, the people that work within Legendary, is because I never ask them to do something that I'm not willing to do or that I haven't done already throughout my career many times over. So for those of you who are looking for the back door, the free door, and getting discouraged because people are wanting to make money for the value that they're providing, expect people to want you to give them things for free and not want to pay you for your value either, because those are the exact people that you will attract.
Yes.
And that becomes a vicious cycle in your life where you bitch and moan and complain about capitalism, which is the system in which we live by. It's the system of delivering value in exchange for something, some sort of form of payment. It's not delivering value because it's a free job fair or something like that. There's still money that's going on even in the job fairs. That is the system in which we live in. And you can either gripe and moan and complain about it and in turn attract those same type of people, or you can embrace it and figure out how to make the best of it, have the best attitude, and in turn be successful in it. You always got to approach the game seeing, okay, what game are we playing here? And what are the rules of the game? And how can I win?
Yeah.
And so what resonates with you about this, and what limiting beliefs did you have to overcome when you were starting in order for you to be successful and get out of your own way?
Yeah, there's a saying that I like that says, it goes, you're always winning at the game that you're playing. And I love that because it really forces, if you actually really embrace that idea, it really forces you to stop and look like, first and foremost, what game am I playing? Am I playing a game of victim mentality? Am I playing a game of entitlement? Am I playing a game of just whining about things constantly? Or am I actually playing a game of, I'm trying to do better in my life. I'm trying to become a better person, become a better mom, because whatever it is, right? So first and foremost, looking at the game that you're playing and then deciding, okay, where do I need to be better, et cetera. Anyway, I love that thought, because again, it fits in every cycle of your life, in every area of your life. And that's kind of one of the things that I've taken with me through this journey continually, and this is an ever-changing industry, especially when you're utilizing social media. That's always, a beast in and of itself, particularly the different platforms and whatnot. And again, like, you can sit there and bitch about like, oh, the changes, the views are down, whatever it is. You can sit there and bitch and moan about it, and you're going to win at that game, bitching and moaning. Or you can say, okay, I need to take a really hard look at where I'm at, what I'm doing, what's not working, and play that game of being better, doing better, changing things up, evolving with the industry, evolving with the changes in social media, et cetera. So I love that. All that to say, so that my limiting beliefs, oh my gosh, how much time do you have? I'm throwing my husband's hat. I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, I remember coming into this with a couple of different thoughts. One was, I'm not capable of learning the social media aspect of it. And two, I am not a techie person. None of that makes sense to me. I don't live in that world. I, live with teaching, pre-kindergartners for 15 years. Like that's my world. That's what I know. That does not involve tech. Anyway, learning to get over that and be like, no, I am actually capable of going outside of my comfort zone. I'm capable of learning new things. I'm capable of just learning and growing and evolving as a human, evolving as a mom, evolving as a woman, evolving as a digital marketer. And but yeah, there's always going to be those limiting beliefs, always, even today, learning to start creating my own digital products. Like, there's definitely limiting beliefs there, but I know if I've already accomplished this in the last year, then I know that I'm capable of doing more. You're looking for that proof of that proof of concept, basically, to continue learning and growing. And when you don't have that proof of concept, it can be really overwhelming and really tiring and really like, it can hold you back. But that's where you have to trust that there has to be more out there. There has to be. If you want more out there, there's more out there. You're going to win at that game if you play that game.
That's a great theme for today. It's, what game am I playing, and am I going to, win the game, or am I going to learn the rules of the game, or am I going to complain that the game isn't a different game? It's kind of like
Yes.
raising kids, and that would be silly if we thought about like we're sitting down to play Monopoly and we're like, I wish if you had somebody who was playing with you and you're like, and they were constantly throughout the game, I wish this was more like hooks and ladders.
Yeah.
Instead of just playing the game that we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the difference between employment and entrepreneurship. It's like, I think you're in the wrong game. I think you think you're looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
These are the questions that you ask when you look for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm discouraged that there's no, jobs available, or I'm frustrated. And so, again, thank you for the comments and for, allowing us to see inside of your heads and hearts about what you are dealing with and struggling with. And hopefully you take this tough love as feedback and know that this is your moment to break through that limiting belief. And it doesn't mean that you need to come buy our education and that we're saying this because we want you to go and you buying something from us is not going to change our company's trajectory. The beautiful thing is that, as many on the show have said, I and everybody inside of this company have the skills that we teach. So we go out, and this whole company is based on, our success is based on making new sales every month. We could base our entire model based on subscriptions, which, are like the streaming services that you're on that you don't watch, but you just forgot to cancel. I mean, that's what like a lot of the marketplace is moving towards. And that's what, builds the value of a company more. If you look at the most valuable companies, they're all companies that have those subscription-based services where people basically, it's like a gym membership. That's why that's such a lucrative business to be in, is because people buy the membership, never go, so they don't use the product or crowd up the place, but they keep paying.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary Marketer, we're not like that here. We do have a Legendary Marketers Club subscription, but it's not our main, source of income. It's not the main thing that we're selling. We're selling our 15-day challenge, which is our appetizer. We're selling our business blueprints, which is our main course. And, you buy that one time, and we continue to pour into you over and over again for months and years in advance. Anytime there's a new update, anytime there's something that's relevant, we give you that update. That we're not saying all this just so you go and you buy that. We're saying this because it's the right thing to say, because it's the truth. Because that if you approach a game and don't understand the rules to the game, if you're trying to play baseball but you're going by football rules, you're going to lose. And what happens when you are out? Like, think about when you were a kid and you weren't playing and you lost and you sucked and you felt bad and you were embarrassed and people laughed, and right? That's just how life is. So learn the game. The show Survivor was a great example of that, because you saw people who were able to adjust to play that game, to be a little conniving, to be a little ruthless, to be a little manipulative, to be social butterflies, and those who didn't want to because of whatever limits they had. And I'm not going to say or assume what those limits were. Maybe it was talent, potential, maybe it was a belief, maybe it didn't feel right, whatever. But they went home with nothing. Whereas people who went on to the game and said, okay, for 30 days, this is the game that I'm playing. It doesn't have anything to do with my identity. It doesn't have anything to do with who I am. It doesn't have anything to do. It just is my ability to adapt in this situation and learn and understand the rules of the game that we're playing. And I'm going to do it for $1 million. And the same is true with this. The video that you post, I mean, I'm certainly not walking around in every conversation of my life, ranting and raving and throwing my hat. I don't, but I am here because This is the game that I'm playing. I'm delivering edutainment.
Yes.
And so I don't think I've ever thrown my hat outside of being on Wake Up Legendary. And now that might be disappointing for some to hear. Dude, you're not going around. It's dinner time, kids. Get in here. Get in here. I mean, what would my neighbors think? Or my kids would be like, I need to talk to the teacher. I think my dad's gone crazy, right? It's the game. We're doing edutainment here. We're delivering value. We do anything and everything that we can to get the message through to people. And if you're willing to learn the rules, play the game, and get great, then you become a legend. You become Tom Brady. You become Patrick Mahomes. You become these people. Just thinking about that because that's football's going on right now, the Super Bowl. So these guys know how to play the game and win.
Mm-hmm.
And so what throughout this journey of the last year and some change is really something that stands out to you that you have learned about yourself?
I have learned that I am stronger and more capable of doing things that are outside of my comfort zone than I thought I was. There again, going back to the social media piece, like I was not prior to this, I was not on. I had social media, but it was like, hey, there's somebody's dog that's loose down the street. And by the way, here's a picture of my cute kids. Like that was it. That was my social media. I didn't have that background with it. And so jumping into this and doing something that was so scary to me, not just the social media aspect, but the digital marketing piece in and of itself as well, like two really big things that were like terrified me, and doing it successfully and pouring my all into both of them made me realize like, oh, okay. I'm capable of learning this. I'm capable of getting past my own fears. I'm capable of getting past myself, my own limiting beliefs, honestly, my own self-sabotaging patterns as well. And if I can do that, what else can I do? It's kind of like the idea of like, oh, okay, I accomplished that. What's next? What challenge is next? Like that, it kind of like lights a fire in you of like, all right, let's up the ante this time. But yeah, it's pretty incredible looking at what you accomplish and then taking that and moving forward into something else. And again, it's that, ever evolving, being willing to adapt, being willing to bring on more, and just, again, going back to, what am I going to let go of now so that I can achieve what I'm working towards next? But yeah, those are pretty much like the biggest things of like, okay, I'm capable of this and more.
What is an example of something that you've let go so you can achieve something bigger and better for yourself?
I think the first thing that pops into my head is other people's, what they might be thinking about me, about what I'm doing, about, oh God, she's so cringy. I can't believe she's doing that. I can't believe she's making these videos. Like letting go of what other people are thinking, because their thoughts, their opinions of how I should be living my life are not going to pay my bills. So letting go of what friends and family may or may not be thinking or saying, letting go of that. Oh,
sorry about that.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I was asking a wonderful question too, and my computer froze. What is an example of something that you have needed to let go in order to grow into a better version of yourself?
Yeah, letting go of other people's opinions of me and how I'm living my life. That was the biggest thing. The biggest. I was so scared of what other people, my friends and family in specific, what they were thinking about me. And I had to come to that realization of their thoughts, their opinions are not going to pay my bills. Why am I letting how they think I should be living my life dictate how I actually live my life? That doesn't make any sense. I don't expect people, aside from my children, to listen to what I have to say and live their, live your life the way that I think you should live it. Why
Yeah.
would I put that then on myself?
And that was you were someone who your friends and or family members opinions of what you were doing was, you know, more impactful to you. You were less worried about what strangers thought and more either worried or being affected by what people close to you in life thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
And that they were saying something, or was that because you were just afraid of what they might say and you were sort of projecting those things onto them?
a little bit of both. A little bit of both. And kind of going back to like what you were saying about cutting family off, cutting, whomever off, there was a piece of that that me and my husband, we kind of had to do. Just in life in general, of cutting people off, cutting off things that didn't serve us. There we go. And letting go of those thoughts and opinions and saying, no, your thoughts, your opinions they can't run our life, period. And so if people don't like that, then okay, that's the boundary we have set. So bye. Bye.
So when I was ranting about the cutting people off, that was really
Yeah.
hitting close to home for you.
Yeah.
Did you realize there was, like, with some people, no halfway, like there was no compromise? They were toxic or being toxic, and you needed to set a firm boundary?
Yeah. 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 We've gone through a lot of coaching, a lot of therapy, a lot of counseling, and there was a lot of recognition of this is toxic for our lives. We can choose to let it creep in and into the nooks and crannies of our life and essentially like take over, or we can say, no, I'm done. Get out. You have no place. If that's how you're going to choose to be in our life, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, you have to make that choice of not letting other people's thoughts and opinions run your life. It doesn't work like that.
The one thing that many of us need in order to actually gain, like, the last big piece of confidence in our lives is to actually stand up to the people that have dominated us throughout our lives, that we didn't ask to dominate us, um, such as parents, such as certain family members.
Yeah.
There are certain family members who had such healthy behaviors towards you that it made you feel small, made you feel like your opinions didn't matter, made you second guess yourself all the time, made you feel like you needed to walk on eggshells around them.
Yeah.
And because you haven't stood up to them yet, you are physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything, unable to step in to the next best version of yourself. That is the missing piece.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you have not found your adult voice to these people, for these people. When you get around these people, or even when you think about these people, you go back into were when you were younger, and you feel small.
Yeah.
You feel unequipped to deal with life, and you feel unnoticed, and you feel unseen. And then that translates over into, well, I don't know if I can do this because maybe the whole world is going to make me feel unseen, unheard, unnoticed, the same way that this other person did. And so you have to stand up, find your voice, say, no, that's not okay. No, I'm not coming home for the holidays. No, I'm not responding to this letter, email, text. I'm blocking you because I'm done explaining to you why that's not okay. But some of you have not even explained why it's not okay.
Right.
Some of you have not even begun to find your adult voice. And that's where a lot of the, the insecurities and the fears and the behaviors translate over into other relationships. A lot of our romantic relationships, intimate relationships, or relationships with our children are a result of our dysfunction with the people who raised us. And so we have to. And a lot of times what's interesting, and I went through this with my family and my parents, and I had to stand up, find my voice, set boundaries. And then I realized once I did, they aren't all that bad. That I can actually spend time with them because now I'm able to set boundaries. Now I'm able to stay in my adult self around them. But I actually did need, with some people, a time of absolute and total silence.
Distance. Yeah.
Distance. And the thing that many of us do is just run, move away from family, run. And a geographical location can be helpful in some instances, but the most powerful thing is to find that voice. And boundaries, I learned from a therapist, is simply telling people who I am. This is who I am. And so, and I like that, and that includes, I don't like when, this is one thing that my daughter says so clearly to people. I don't like when people talk to me like that.
Yes, girl.
He says it right back to me. We taught her that. Because that was actually our response to her when she would be lippy. Yeah. I don't like when people talk to me like that. And so, we have to find that voice. And I tell you, it'll be the most empowering thing some of you have ever done. And you can work with, some of you don't need marketing coaching. Some of you need personal counseling. Actual therapy, and that'd be a great, step for you as you're to work in combination. You don't need another guru in your life. You don't need another internet marketing asshole. You need an actual therapist who can help you to find your voice and to start setting boundaries. This is what I want to do, and I'm learning the skills. And yes, I'm becoming aware that mindset is important. And however, I really have some blocks, and I have some things that I need to unpack in terms of my family of origin and so forth, that I need guidance on how to navigate. Here's what's going on in my life. And you lay it out and you take that, and that'll be one of the best investments many of you make. Does this resonate with you?
Very, very, very much so. I have gone through a tremendous amount of therapy myself. I've actually gone to school for life coaching. I'm actually master certified life coach. So all of this, the whole mindset piece, the whole taking responsibility for yourself, your actions, your thoughts, your entire life in general, that's a really big part of my belief system and has made me who I am and who I'm going to continue to grow into be. And again, just taking responsibility and ownership of your own life and your own thoughts and pursuing that continually. It's such an empowering thing to take ownership of your own life and not let other people, their expectations, their thoughts, their opinions dictate how you live your life. There's such an empowering piece to that. And when you're finally able to really embrace that, you really start to learn what you're capable of and finding that inner strength inside of you in order to do those things that you want to do, live that life that you want to live, accomplish those things that you want to accomplish. You're not going to have that until you're willing to embrace that, and until you're willing to embrace that responsibility for your own life.
Yeah. And these are the tools that you're going to actually need to be a successful entrepreneur.
100%.
Because
100%.
being a successful entrepreneur is actually about constantly setting boundaries with people. If you want to be the boss, paying the cost to be the boss means is you're going to have uncomfortable conversations with people.
Yeah.
That's what it means. You're going to constantly have to be telling people what's okay, what's not okay, telling them no, being the adult in the room. So it's great practice if you're not doing this, or if you're not doing this work and paying attention to this part of your life and of your mental and emotional state, it is going to show up in your business, and you are going to potentially self-sabotage because of people-pleasing tendencies and other
Yeah.
self-sabotaging tendencies that you have.
Mhm.
And, those are probably very clear if you take a look back at things that you've tried and, well, I'm not successful. And we always, we don't always, many of us tend to go into a victim stance. Well, I'm not getting the
Yes,
support that I need. It's other people. It's this. I haven't found the right mentor yet. And it's like, no, you haven't found you yet.
that's exactly spot on. Yes. If you are placing blame outside on everything or everyone else, there's a very good chance that you're not taking a look at your own life, your own self, your own actions, your own thoughts, your own beliefs, and not taking responsibility for those.
Oh man, this is interesting. Oro says, I come from a background of women hating men. So my new social is male empowerment, and I am an all boy mom. I can't be hating men. So that is going to be interesting to see when all those men hating people see me being successful with my loving and caring approach towards males. This is very, very interesting. This is turning your mess into a message. This is an example of turning your struggles into your strengths and then packaging that experience and information into a business that's helpful, sharing that knowledge and experience with other people. I give you a lot of
Yeah.
kudos. You also
Yeah.
shared earlier about something that you were discouraged about, and I don't remember what that is, but I just want to give you a huge round of applause. Not because of the topic. The topic's fine and it's irrelevant. It's beautiful. It's powerful. It's yours, and it's going to be wonderful. It's the way in which you're taking something that was probably pretty destructive to you in your psyche, and you're saying, I'm aware of this. This is toxic. This is damaging, and I want to, especially because I have a new generation of boys that I'm raising. I want to both use this mess, turn it into a message for others, but also the therapeutic value of that is going to be so valuable to your sons. Great example of a unique niche too.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, some of you also can have passion pages that you don't particularly have to know how you're going to monetize them at first.
Yeah.
But similar to journaling, what I found was I never really loved to journal. I don't like to write.
Mhm.
I don't really like, believe it or not, I know, I used to not want to share this. This is tea time with Dave. I used to not want to share this because I heard so many people saying, that the secret to their success was sitting around reading books and what's the newest book that you're reading. But I don't like to read. However, I do read with my kids every single night, read a book with them every single night or a part of a book. And my kids really like that reading time. But I was a great reader as a kid, but my brain just prefers to converse and to listen. I'm more audio based. I like to listen. I like to learn. I'm also experiential. So for me, recording videos has been like journaling for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
So maybe some of you can also be open to the fact that, you can start to either have a passion page that you figure out later. And most passions, if you're talking about something that's helpful to people, can turn into, there's a coaching or a course or some opportunity there that you
Yeah.
can find. If you can get people, you can grow an audience first based on a topic that you're passionate about, where you're turning a mess into a message. So just be open to that as well. Those of you who this sort of information is resonating with. For me, I could have very easily gone into addiction-based content.
Mhm.
I could have gone into family dynamics.
Mhm.
I could have gone into, there's a 12-step fellowship that's called Adult Children of Alcoholics. I grew up with an alcoholic father. He's now been sober for 14 years. He got sober 6 months after I got clean. But even if he didn't, doesn't matter. I mean, I was still affected, and my childhood was affected by a lot of those dynamics, generational trauma and alcoholism and so forth. And so, and my mom's side wasn't perfect either. They were massive image managers. So, but anyways, and I have weaved that content and those topics into my, content in the online business niche. But many of you just, can get a lot of therapeutic value from processing
Yes.
some of this and sharing, sort of like Aro shared about wanting to take that life experience and turn that struggle into a strength. So with all this being said, we'll bring this conversation in for a landing. What advice would you give to people who are listening to this? Their minds are probably spinning. They're going, wow, this is much more than I expected. I told you guys to put your seatbelt on at the beginning of the show. If you were going back to yourself back in that time when you were in that, getting ready to get ready, fear mode and all that, what would you say to yourself? What would you whisper in your ear?
Oh gosh. I think the first thing I would want to tell myself, like, it is so worth it. It is so worth it. First and foremost, not just obviously the financial benefits, obviously, but aside from that, the idea of the self-growth journey that I've gone through this past year is incomparable, you know what I mean, to anything else. And the finding myself in this, growing my self-esteem, starting to learn, not just learn, but embrace who I am, and bringing that to life in not just social media, but everything I do in general. And so what I would tell somebody is just be willing to be open at the bare minimum, be willing to be open to what this opportunity can actually provide for you, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, even maybe, I don't know. There's so much opportunity if you just are willing to open yourself up to new experiences, new ideas, new knowledge, new everything. There's so much opportunity. And if you turn away from that, you're missing out on all of that. And how sad is that? You don't want to miss out on life.
Yeah. Well, good for you. And I'm glad you did. That's one of the lessons that I've learned is we may not change the world, although, there's a lot of people who have said that, but the way we change the world is change ourselves and then become
Yes.
an attractive, example for people to want to model after. And that is ultimately the most attractive thing that we can do. That's why self-confidence and all of that are oftentimes the most attractive qualities about a person, is because, I can try to please you all day long, but, I have to also focus on what do I want out of my life? And that's why all the tools that we talked about throughout this episode, from the cutting them off to, really not expecting something for nothing and actually being willing and excited to buy and invest in yourself and also invest in other people and stimulate the economy in the marketplace, just like you want people to stimulate your economy in your marketplace, right? Being a giving and receiving part of this marketplace, being, that is all part of this process. And it's, again, we have no control over what others do, even if they listen to this. But ironically, the more we step into our power and share our messages more clearly, the more people do listen.
Yeah.
And then all of the people who didn't listen and didn't believe, their voices become quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter until, and at the beginning, they're so loud, is all we can think about is what such and such thinks. And that's like the only voice in the room. And as long as you try to change or please that critical person, you're never gonna get anywhere. But if you silence that person, put a wall up, build a boundary, and say, I'm going to go do what's best for me. I'm going to go grow. I'm going to go get uncomfortable. I'm going to continue in this direction. Those voices become silent. They become quieter and quieter and quieter.
Yeah. Or even if they don't become silent, you learn to just not let it affect you. And that there's such beauty in that. There's such beauty in that. And you start to listen to the voices that you are impacting and the voices that are impacting you. Yeah. It does get easier. I promise it gets easier.
In all ways.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Well, this has been absolutely fantastic. The best way to start my morning. I love it. I've loved talking to you. This has been like super, super deep, like substance.
Didn't see it going there, but I'm here for it.
No, I am too. So, hey, stay legendary, my friend. I'll see you back on the show at a mastermind, all the things here real soon. Okay.
Yep. Sounds good, Dave. Thanks for having me.
All right. See you, Nicole. All right, my friends, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Hit me. Whoop, there it is. Man, I'm having fun. I'm loving this. Am I working? Am I playing? I don't know. I don't know. You figure it out. I talked about having your life, your personal life and your work life kind of meld together to where, am I working? Am I playing? Do I love this? Do I hate it? No, wait, I don't hate work anymore. I love work. Is this even work? Right? Thank you all for the amazing comments. I hope Nicole gets a chance to go back through them. So supportive, so respectful, so validating, so affirming. Thank you all. You all are beautiful human beings, true legends. And if you want to follow Nicole, find her, support her, learn from her, all those things. She after all, I mean, as much as she shared today that was so powerful and helpful in so many areas of life, even if you pursue digital marketing or not, she is a successful digital marketer who went from, working a full-time job and having no success whatsoever to starting here, no success online, to starting here, going through this education, learning, leaning in, investing, and is now a full-time digital marketer. So she's got a lot to offer there. And she's passionate about this stuff. That's what she's talking about. That's what she's promoting. And it'll be exciting to see where her journey takes her and where she goes in the future. My friends, the only thing that is missing from your journey is you. And so step into it, own it. Okay. Own it. Man, I am so excited for this year for so many of you who are like, it's my time now. It's my time to do all the things that I've been putting off, many of which I hope are the real work, the important stuff that I talked about this morning with Nicole. And thank you, Nicole, for sparking such amazing conversations. Just legendary. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm full. My cuppeth runneth over. I got to go process what we just talked about. It was deep. It was good. It was powerful. And I hope you all enjoy it. Go back and listen to the replay. It's worth it. Meet us back here tomorrow for another episode. My friends, if you want to get started with our challenge, our blueprints, come to a mastermind, go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll. Get out of here. See you tomorrow. Peace.